calling you a radical. Let's talk about the Fukushima dumping. Okay, it's August 24th. They're going to start dumping. They've been pouring water over this whole time. They've never cut the water. Maybe 1,000th of 1%. This is the Fukushima melted down. 3 full core meltdowns. The greatest ecological catastrophe disaster in human history. 3 full core meltdowns, at least 8 spent fuel pools with literally millions and millions and millions of spent fuel rods blown to smithereens. Now, let's stay with this. It was on this side of Japan. It's on this side of Japan. This is the China side. This is the U.S. side. So, where are they pouring in? The harbor's right there. There's a little eddy that goes right there. What's that? The Japanese current. The Japanese current is a river and a wind flow. It's the trade winds. So it's one of the swiftest rivers on Earth. So when the tsunami and earthquake happened, automobile overpass made it right there to Gold Beach, Oregon on day 6. So as the contamination, the radioactive fallout from these cores, from these spent fuel, went up into the air the first 6 days, and it plumed over North America. Now, Barack Obama stood right there at the White House and says, scientists tell us the plume is coming over us right now, but it's safe. He was lying. So, RadNet, we have these dishes all over, including one right over there. They tore it down. They took RadNet, the radiation network, detection network, all over North America on March 11th, 2011. It went offline. I mean, we have them everywhere, thousands of detection. It's a very nice website. You just go and you can read all the rating. They took it offline. So the wind was blowing out. CNN sends Sanjay Gupta and Anderson Vanderbilt Cooper to Fukushima, Japan, after the 9-point earthquake. Now, we had cameras here in the sea on a barge. There were activists that had those there. So the footage showed it blowing up. Or they'd have never told any of us anything. So Anderson, Vanderbilt, Cooper, and Sanjay Gupta were saying nuclear meltdown, nuclear meltdown, nuclear meltdown thousands of times, at least hundreds of times. They had a guy back here, Jim Welch at MIT, Walsh, who claimed to be a nuclear expert. So the wind is blowing out over North America for the first 6 days. The winds were going to shift over Tokyo. You know, and they were starting to get water, trying to get water. They were using helicopters, using all kinds of dog and pony show. It wasn't working. As the wind shifted, CNN flew their crew home. Didn't tell anybody. They flew home. Sanjay Gupta, Anderson Vanderbilt never mentioned Fukushima again. Oh, Sanjay Gupta did on Sanjay Gupta MD. Now remember, this is a plastic nerve surgeon. On the 25th of March, on his show, he had a woman on there. He had this kid from Michigan who said he went to Chernobyl, and Chernobyl was a farce, that it was all good. There was no, he said, I thought I'd see 3 eyeballs, you know. And then he had a woman doctor on a college from Japan on saying, oh, radiation's not all bad. It's good for you sometimes. I remember I have the disease, fighting amyloid. I was outraged. This was before I got it. I got it in 2011. So the water that's being dumped for 4,550 days, for over 12 years. So we get we get typhoons, major. Now I sound like Barack Obama, right? Barack Obama never mentioned Fukushima again until he was on Jimmy Kimmel, right before he left office. And he says, you ever get calls in the middle of the night? Yeah. Like when? Like when Fukushima happened. Jimmy Kimmel, what's Fukushima? You know, the typhoon, he called it. Which, I mean, come on, man. So, anyway, typhoons hit, the water washes down over these cores. We've never got to 3 cores. As you know, I call the 3 cores, I named it in March of 2011, Argentina, because if you go straight through the earth, where do you end up, kiddies? Right there, Argentina. That's how we come up with the term China syndrome. You go straight through here, you end up in China. 3 Mile Island. Oh, Lake Barrett, the guy who covered up 3 Mile Islands, covering up Fukushima? Yep, same guy. So, okay. The water is pushed in over these 3 cores, which they're underwater anyway. Where they at? Remember when everything washed up dead right here? Yes, that's Alaska right there. That's Japan. Remember on the peninsula right here? The Russian peninsula. Yes, part of Russia's in Asia. Everything washed up dead a few years ago. There's an underground trench right there called the Japanese Trench. Did the cores get into that trench? No doubt in my mind. Never got to. China syndrome is very real. This is proven. So anyway, the so-called water that's been pushed on or rained on, or any water goes into the ocean. The ocean eddy comes right here. The Japanese current's very fast, it's quick. You catch my northern drift. Right here is what we call the California current. So the Japanese current comes here. It splits, rolls up into Bristol Bay, then it comes all the way back down, very swift river, all the way to the equator. So very quickly. So the jet stream storms rise off the Pacific Ocean. So as I hypothesized when Fukushima happened, they're lying. I was the only person on Earth called these meltdowns. They're going to push this energy. It's going to cause a heat bubble over the western United States. The drought started in 2011. As I said last year, the drought will probably be over here because the heat bubble was shifted here. It's unarguable. I'm the guy that named that, the Great North American Heat Bubble of 2011. I'm the guy that named it in 2011. That's an unarguable fact. So Kevin Blanch, first thing it's going to do is take out the starfish will go first because they're sponges. It's going to take, just wasting disease popped up in 2012, wiped out 95% of the tide pools. The salmon will collapse. Steelhead salmon come up all these rivers all over. The steelhead will start to collapse immediately in 2011 because they go to sea 1 to 12 years. 1 to 2 years. 1 to 2 years. They live here. The Chinook salmon will not collapse. They live in the sea, right? They don't live in rivers. They won't collapse until 2016. Why? Because the average Chinook salmon goes to sea for 5 years. Record returns until what? Acute radical collapse. So they push the energy here. This is their dumping, which they've been dumping the whole time. It comes here. This is not a bathtub. The Pacific Ocean is not a bathtub. It's not. It's not a sewer system. It's not a sewer. It's not an outhouse. It's not a toilet. It's very dynamic. It doesn't just slosh around. It has rivers all over it. This is the big one. The Japanese current is the biggest. Then, of course, the California current that's how the grays migrate from here to here. They get into that current. You catch my drift? So, who's the downwinders of Fukushima? Not there. No. Jet stream doesn't move this way to China. Jet stream moves this way. Ocean currents move this way. So who's the downwinder? So who should be screaming the hardest? Oh, North Americans. Why didn't they? It's a very good question. So, very good question. So, they're not covering it up in Asia. They've been protesting the whole time in Asia and or in Europe. They blocked food. We didn't. Got to go talk to Henry before I go to Fukushima. Remember those leaked out emails? That's Hillary Clinton, head of the State Department. Trump never know better. It just shows you who owns North America, the media. Nobody say the F word till now, 12 years later, as I said when this happened. Kevin Blanch, first year hypothesis. These are full-blown out core meltdowns. They're going to push the energy to the Pacific Ocean. It's going to cause an energy that unforeseen in the history of mankind. These never happened before. It's going to take the tide pools out first, which I walked the coast of California, documenting the wiped out tide pools. My historic footage. the salmon or the smoking gun. We don't get dead humans in bone marrow. Longevity headed south. And I can't even talk where I think the pandemic came from. You know, does nuclear fallout from 3 core meltdowns cause mutations? Well, Einstein said it would. So they're not the downwinders. They're not catching the energy in China. We're the downwinders. It's not that far. It's 6,500. The Earth's not that. I mean, hello, 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 hello. Come on, man. I mean, people that ignorant. This propaganda machine just plays us. Boy, talk about the weight of the world on Kevin Blanch. I'm the only person that's fought this from day one. That's called this out and been slandered, been attacked. When there are teams that trolls to go after me, that's their answer. The greatest PhD in human history. I've done this video many times. Not just now. Oh boy. Go with that left, Jerry. God, I dropped it. Damn it. Kinda. Did I hurt Mother Earth? She's okay. She's okay. Here's Europe. Here's all of Asia. China, Russia, Taiwan, Hong Kong. Here's Japan. Jet stream moves this way, not that way. So why would they ban all the food and this seafood and we not? Gotta go talk to Henry before I go to Fukushima. Ooh. Take a shower. Don't risk it. If you do go outside, wash your clothes. Stay indoors. We never got those emails. Barack Obama was flown out of the country after he gave that speech. To where? The furthest way you can get away from freaking South America. As I called it. Del Mar, Argentina syndrome. Very real. They've never got near the course. Their own words. We have robots that can withstand many, many thousands of degrees Fahrenheit. You never get near them, they just melt. What's coming off this course? We don't know, which I named plutonium because why? It's never happened in the history of mankind. So, right here in this year in May, China reports in the harbor, they're picking up 1,800 times over the raise. Now remember, the answer was to raise the safe limits. Trump got rid of the limits. Obama raised them multiple times. 18,000 becquerels per kilogram of cesium-137. Now they always talk cesium-137 and tritium. They don't talk all the other heavy metals. They don't talk plutonium. They don't talk strontium. They don't talk any. But cesium-137, we know the short half-life, 30 years. We know it only comes from a nuclear fission event. In the rockfish, okay, 22, well, that's in the harbor. All fish swim. Okay, let's go back 2022, and I'll post the links. Here, 40 miles off the coast in 2022, 1,400 becquerels of cesium-137 in the rockfish. You eat one of those fish, it's going to kill you. That's 40 kilometers off. We're out in here. Okay, how about 2011? Ken Buesler's name's on that study. I'm the guy that leaked that study out in 2011, in June 2011. 40 kilometers off the coast of California. The background levels are the radiation from the Bikini Atolls and Nevada test sites, Arbamba, all the testing. We know what that levels are. In 24, you can read the study. I'll post this study. It was a secret study. All these scientists from all over the world, including the United States, who zipped up almost saying nothing. 3 sample sits. One sample set showed 40 kilometers off, 300 meters down into the water column, 1,000 times the background levels of cesium 137. Their conclusion, already into the water column. There's no stopping it. What's the water column? Japanese current. Where does it come? Remember, we were picking up cesium 137 in the salmon in 2011. I was down there before I got cancer in San Diego. Remember that? And what was it? Then they just went into cover-up mode. So again, jet stream moves left to right, kiddies. Storms rise up. They took down right. This has been nothing but a problem. And none of the media will say the F word. None of the media will say the F word. None of them will say the F word. Nobody will say the F word. Fukushima for all these days, which I named that energy Futonium, because I mean, where's my Pulitzer Prize? Livermore, Livermorium, Tennesseeum, those all came post Fukushima. You know, these labs of these new ones. Livermore, California, Tennesseeum, Oak Ridge, Tennessee, the Manhattan Project gone amok. You forget the Alta by the Sea agreements after FDR, Stalin and Churchill chopped up the world. The United States took Japan. Barack Obama, he just fakes fishing on truth statement he ever said. These treaties were signed long before I was born. Japan's the 51st state. What do you think Lake Barrett and then people are running the show over there? It's the United States who's running that. The Nuclear Energy Crime Center is running it. They're not Fukushima denial. Angela Merkel shut down all the nuclear reactors after Fukushima. She's a nuclear physicist. I'll quote Oppenheimer again, over and over and over. Oppenheimer, the best nuclear physicists in the world are Germans. If they wanted the bomb, they'll get it before us. He full well knows he dropped it anyway. Post the bomb, we run Japan. Japan is the 51st state. Yalta by the Sea. Stalin took Eastern Europe. We split up Germany. You know how many U.S. soldiers are in Japan right now today? You know how many U.S. soldiers are in Germany today? Hello. These treaties were hundreds, if not thousands-year-old treaties. Where the wind blows. Hello, jet stream. And you do this. The ocean. Japan. The United States. Jet stream. As I named it. Futonium. Why? We have no clue what it is. We can't get into those cores because it's never happened before. We've never had full core meltdowns. We don't know what the energy is. We had a partial meltdown at Chernobyl. And the whole media in the United States has tried to tell you that 1 is more than 3. I mean, it's obscene. Well, it's beyond obscene what the media has done here. And it is absolutely obscene. So they've tried to tell you, this is beyond Orwellian. Academia's all gone bought that. The media's all gone. I'm a butcher, what's a cow? I'm a baker, what's a cake? I'm a zoologist professor at a major university. The nuclear industry has infiltrated and taken over academia. They have ruined academia. The science fields, they have destroyed it. This is the Science Center. Winston, 2 plastic. No, it's whatever. No, 1 partially full core reactor, graphite core, blew up at Chernobyl with no spent fuel pools, a new reactor, versus 3 full core meltdowns and at least 7 spent fuel pools, probably 8, with thousands and thousands, millions and millions of pounds of spent fuel rods blown to smithereens, and this is greater than this, Winston. No, no. 2 plus 2 is still fucking 4. Kevin Blanch proved it to you. It's outrageous the United States stands by the populace. Where's the book? Can I get the book on Fukushima, Mom? Can I get the book? Can you show me where the book on Fukushima is? Kevin Blanch, the famous professor, used to be at Weber State. Can you show me where his stuff is? Oh, let's go over here to the medical journals. Oh, give him 2 months to live. One of the bone marrow counts on 11, 11, 11. Whoa, what a story. Oh my God. It blows my mind how ignorant this American sheeple have become. Again, water pushes here, direct hit here. Storms rise up. Well, we haven't seen the, oh yes we have. Wait till these tide pools down 95% post Fukushima. Salmon collapse, Chinook salmon down 95% post Fukushima. Wells have collapsed. All this in an acute, we call that an outlier science. We know there was an outlier. We know it. You can run regression in models. We know factually there was. It's unarguable science now because Kevin Blanch's salmon work, my tide pool work, that we know there was a crash. There's a outlier. You can run regressionary models. We have the data. We have the years data. We know the outlier, because we can take the bias out the computer. It was 2011. So we know something radically crashed and changed here in 2011. Did a meteor hit here? Did we have 1,000 XL in these? Oh, 3 full core meltdowns and just millions and millions and millions of pounds of spent fuel, including MOX fuel. Jet stream moves this way. Quickly again, the bridge from the overpass here. I remember being made it to Gold Beach at 6. I remember being here walking the coast of California dying and seeing Fukushima. They used to come in with black ops up and down. I talked to them and I would then let them, if I put video of, they take it down. You know, and I'd say they had detection devices going up, cleaning up the Fukushima debris. This is in 2014, 2013, 2015. I remember being here in the Central Coast, arguing with a fish cop out there at Big Sur. And he's like, because I was out of water and I was walking. And he says, I've never seen the Pacific Ocean so healthy. I said, you need to get out of your truck and look around. He says, I do pick up a lot of Fukushima debris here. We have the salmon data. It moves this way. We are the downwinders here. Longevity headed south, and it's all coincidence. Coincidence doesn't get it in science. What Kevin Blanch has done. The greatest PhD in human history. Stay tuned.